Here are the must-have raid weapons that you should get in PvE of Destiny 2. In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 raids that are currently in Destiny 2. The first one is going to be Vow of the Disciple. The second one is going to be the Root of Nightmares raid. And the third and final raid we're going to be talking about in this video is Last Wish. If you want to learn more about these weapons and what perks you would need to put on, be sure to tune in. Starting for the Vow of the Disciple raid. There are 4 weapons that I would recommend you would get in the Vow of the Disciple raid. Let's start with the kinetic weapons. Starting with the first one, you're going to need to get this stasis fusion rifle called the Deliverance. There is also another fusion rifle that has a quicker charge time, but you would have to get it in PvP. But if you're the people that choose not to play PvP, this fusion rifle is good for you. The charge time is 780, so it may shoot slower, but it has Demolitionist and Chill Clip. And also for Demolitionist, whenever you activate your grenade, it reloads his weapon from reserves. And also whenever you get a kill with the Deliverance, it gives you grenade energy. And with all of the Vow of the Disciple raid weapons, the origin trait is called Soul Drinker. You gain health based on the number of hits before reloading. And for Chill Clip, this is the most broken weapon perk in the entire game. This is very good for unstoppable champions and overload champions, because direct hits with the top half of the magazine causes a detonation that slows nearby targets, and it also improves your stability. So whenever you run out of Chill Clip, all you gotta do is throw your grenade to reload your magazine for this weapon. And for the other 2 weapon perks you would want to go for is Enhanced Battery, which increases the magazine size, and also you would need to go for Arrowhead Break. It would greatly controls recoil and increases your handling speed. And also if you would want to masterwork the Deliverance, I would recommend you would go for Charge Time, because how slow of it is already, but by having that it would be much better. And for the second weapon for the Vow of the Disciple raid, it is a submachine gun called Submission. And on the 4th perk column for the submission, you would want to go for Frenzy, because being in combat for an extended time increases damage, handling, and reload for this weapon for an improved duration until you are out of combat. So whenever you proc Frenzy, your reload speed is going to be going all the way up to 100%. So that is a max reload speed. There are 2 other perks for this submachine gun, but for me, I would highly recommend you would go for Overflow. Picking up a special or heavy ammo loads this weapon even further beyond normal capacity. But if you choose not to want to go for Overflow, you can also go for Subsistence. Defeating targets partially reloads the magazine from reserves. You can go for either or if you would like, but for me, again, I would recommend going for Overflow. And for the other 2 perks, the first one you would want to go for Actorized Rounds. It increases the range. And for the first perk column you would want to go for is Corkscrew Rifling. It slightly increases range and stability, and slightly increases handling speed. And same thing for the Masterwork, you would want to go for Handling. It would give you plus 10 handling as well. Now onto the energy weapon. There is only one, and this is the best weapon for ad clear. Like, this is really fun to use, and it's really broken for ad clear. It's a arc grenade launcher called the Forbearance. It's a wave frame, so it's a one-shot handheld grenade launcher. Projectiles release a wave of energy when they contact the ground. And when I say this is the best weapon for ad clear, it's because of this perk, and it's called Chain Reaction. Each final blow with this weapon creates a elemental damage explosion, and it also improves ammo reserves. So every time you get a single kill, that enemy explodes, and it affects other targets as well. And you can also get 2 rounds in the magazine for this grenade launcher by having this perk called Ambitious Assassin. It overflows the magazine based on the number of rapid kills before reloading, improves reload as well. You can also get it to 3 bullets in the mag, but you can only do that when you have an enhanced trait on that. Chances of doing that are pretty low. And here are the other 2 perks that I would recommend to get on the Forbearance. Starting with the first one, it's on the 1st perk column slot, and it's called Volatile Launch. It greatly increases blast radius, slightly decreases handling speed, and slightly decreases projectile speed. And for the 2nd perk column, you want to go for High Velocity Rounds. It increases projectile speed and also increases reload. And for the masterwork on this grenade launcher, you would want to go for is reload speed. And now we're on to the 4th and final weapon for the Vow of the Disciple raid, and that weapon is called the Cataclysmic. It is a solar linear fusion rifle, and it's very good for endgame content because of this perk called Bait and Switch. Deal damage with all equipped weapons within a short time to give this weapon a damage boost for an improved duration. What that means is that you would have to deal damage for your kinetic and energy to proc Bait and Switch. As long as you shoot the enemy once from your kinetic and energy, it would proc Bait and Switch for 9 seconds. But if you have the enhanced trait for this perk, it would increase it to 10 seconds. But I would recommend you would not get enhanced trait because it ruins the flow when you're doing your weapon swaps. And the other perk allows you to shoot more often, and it's called 4 times the charm. Rapidly landing precision hits will return 2 rounds to the magazine, increases time between precision shots. So whenever you deal 4 precision shots, it refunds 2 ammo to the magazine. And here are the other 2 perks that I should recommend you would go for. This one increases the magazine size, which is called Enhance the Battery. And the first perk column slot is called Arrowhead Break. It greatly controls recoil and increases handling speed. And the masterwork that I would recommend you would go for is Charge Time. Now onto the Root of Nightmares raid. Starting with the kinetic weapon, it is a strand auto rifle called Rufus Fury that comes with reconstruction, in which case my magazine size is 61, and if you would times that by 2, it would be 122 bullets in the magazine. And you can increase the magazine size by having this perk on the second perk column slot called Appended Mag. And you can also increase the damage on a certain target the longer you shoot is by having this perk called Target Lock. This is very good for end game content, so by having this, it is very good for this auto rifle. Here's what it does. Damage increases by an approved amount the longer this weapon remains on a target. And here's what the origin trait does for the Root of Nightmares raid weapons, and it's called Harmonic Resonance. Equipping multiple weapons from this set grants this weapon increased reload speed and handling. It also deals increased damage versus Tormentors, Lucent Hive, and Guardians using their supers. So by having this in the Root of Nightmares raid, this is going to be very good for extra damage on those type of adds. And on the first perk column slot you would want to go for is Arrowhead Break. And onto the energy weapon slot, it is a solar trace rifle called Acacia's Deduction. This trace rifle is mainly good for ad clearing, so the perks that you would want to go for are Reconstruction and Incandescent. Here's what Incandescent does. Defeating a target spreads Scorch to those nearby. More powerful combatants and opposing guardians cause Scorch in a larger radius. So with Reconstruction, of course, it doubles the magazine size. So you would need to have this perk called Enhanced Battery, which increases the magazine size, which makes it go all the way up to 104 bullets in the mag. And you can times that by 2 because of Reconstruction, and that would give you 208 bullets in the magazine. And on the first perk column slot you would want to go for is Arrowhead Break. And the masterwork you would want to go for this trace rifle is Range. Now let's head to the last weapon that is very good in the Root of the Nightmares raid. It is a power weapon, and it is also a solar linear fusion called Briar's Contempt that comes with Reconstruction, which also doubles the magazine size. And you would also need to have this perk called Enhanced Battery, which also increases the magazine size. You would have 6 bullets in the magazine. With Reconstruction, you would have 12 in total. And this linear fusion rifle is very good for the Ghost of the Deep dungeon because all of the adds are Hive, and you would deal increased damage because of the origin trait. And on the fourth perk column slot for this linear fusion rifle, you would want to go for is Focus Fury. Dealing half of the magazine as precision damage grants this weapon bonus damage for an improved duration. The shot count is reset whenever the weapon is reloaded or stowed. But if you suck at hitting your shots like I am, you could go for Frenzy. And on the first perk column slot you would want to go for is Arrowhead Break. And for the masterwork for this weapon you would want to go for is Charge Time. Now let's talk about the Last Wish raid. There are 2 weapons that are really good. Let's start with the first one. It is on the energy weapon slot and is a arc fusion rifle called Techian Force. So whenever you deal damage to a single target, it increases the damage every time you shoot. And this perk is called Controlled Burst. Landing every shot in a burst grants this weapon increased damage and reduced charge time for a short duration. And this is also going to be good by this other perk which you can pair, and it's called Reconstruction. It doubles the magazine size, and so for me, I have 7 bullets in the magazine because of this perk called Enhanced Battery. It increases the magazine size. So by having Reconstruction and Enhanced Battery, you could be able to hold 14 bullets in the magazine, so you would not have to worry about reloading this fusion rifle. And on the last perk column you would want to go for is Arrowhead Break. It greatly controls recoil. This is very good for fusion rifles and increases handling speed. For the masterwork you would want to go for is Charge Time, and of course having Charge Time masterwork on fusion rifles is very good, so you can shoot it more often. And now to the Mama Jamma Solar Rocket Launcher. This is very good for DPS because we are currently in a DPS meta with rockets, so this rocket launcher is very good. It is called the Apex Predator that comes with Reconstruction and Bait and Switch. So by having Reconstruction you can have 2 bullets in the magazine, and with Bait and Switch you can increase this rocket's damage even more, and you can have crazy builds with this rocket launcher. And the other perk you would want to go for is Impact Casing. It increases stability and quick launch, greatly increases handling speed, and increases projectile speed. And the masterwork you would need to go for is Velocity. And here's what the origin trait does for the Last Wish weapons. It is called Explosive Pack. This weapon gains bonus stability and reload speed when activating a grenade ability. Healing grenades and grenade final blows grant additional stacks of the bonus. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe. And if you would like to see more videos like these, subscribe. And also also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/superapt4. I do PvE Destiny 2 helps. If you're interested in that, be sure to click on the link in the description, and I'll see you guys there. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.